Smitty.
Give me a deep wide receiver breakout that can be a top potential 15, 20 wide receiver. Yeah, even as a rookie.
Smitty, doesn't matter. Rookie.
Doesn't matter if it's a sophomore or junior. Who can I get late in a draft that could be a secret weapon wide receiver 3 that might help me win league?
Smitty.
His name is Tank Dell, and he's headed to the moon.
To the moon.
The Fantasy Football Show. It begins right now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Take a lap.
Long time coming. We've been talking about this kid for some time now. Lands in Houston, the number one option in Houston. Stroud loves this kid. They were literally bonding during the entire combine process. And Stroud said, draft him. And the Texans said, okay. The rapport is already there between the two. Dell will be Stroud's number one wide receiver. Tank Dell is arguably one of the very best route runners in this entire 2023 rookie wide receiver draft class. Yeah, JSN probably gets the nod, but he's a close second. His feet are quick. Not to mention, and a lot of people don't really talk about this, it's not that bold to be talking about Tank Dell as maybe, quietly, my favorite rookie wide receiver in the entire draft class. You heard me correct. No, don't take him at number 3 or 4 or 5 in your rookie-only draft. He's a second rounder. He's a 1.112, 2.01, 2.02. Take advantage of his fair market value. Take advantage of his draft value. But am I absolutely crazy? Look into my eyes and tell me. I won't get mad. Am I crazy to argue that this kid could be the best wide receiver in the entire rookie draft class?
Yes, Smitty, you're an idiot.
Really, Bob? Well, Bob, while you're looking at JSN film and talking about how this raw Quentin Johnston kid's going to be the best thing ever, I'm going to show you some numbers. Pal. Tank Dell was number 1 in the nation with 1398 receiving yards. Oh, that doesn't impress you? How about this one? Tank Dell was number 1 in the nation with 17 touchdowns. Wait a minute, Smitty. You're telling me he had 1398 receiving, number 1 in the entire nation in receiving yards, and he had 17 receiving touchdowns, number 1 in the entire nation in receiving touchdowns? What about receptions? He couldn't possibly be the reception leader, could he? Second. 109. Charlie Jones had 110. He was 1 reception short from the Triple Crown in college. And you're over here talking about JSN and these guys and Quentin Johnston, and I do like Zay Flowers, but the fantasy football world is overlooking Tank Dell, arguably the best receiver in college football based on the numbers alone. Number 1 in yards, number 1 in touchdowns, number 2 in receptions, 1 reception shy of being the Triple Crown touchdowns, receptions, and yardage leader in the nation. And this kid's got confidence. He calls himself the best wide receiver in the nation. And the stats back it up. He's quick. Yeah, he's smaller. The only downside is his stature. He's 5'8". We thought he could have been 5'10". He's 165. He's a smaller guy. No doubt, but we've seen smaller guys succeed at the NFL level. This kid is the next Antonio Brown. This kid runs routes like nobody I've seen. You could say this kid and JSN are tied for the best route running ability in the nation. I don't know what to tell anybody that doubts him based on his size, because the numbers don't lie. The route running and film don't lie. His confidence doesn't lie. Stroud doesn't lie. When Stroud says, go get him, I want Tank Dell. And boy, did the Texans listen. They brought him right over. The Texans will be down a lot in 2023. I like what they're building, but they will be throwing a lot in the third and fourth quarter. They're preparing for 2024 and beyond. They're not going to make the playoffs this year, but they will be surprising a lot of teams. And again, throwing the football in the third and fourth quarter, Tank Dell will deliver. Nathaniel Tank Dell is going to be my secret weapon wide receiver 3 that I don't have to draft anywhere near wide receiver 3 territory. Understand what I'm saying? Smitty, do I take him as my wide receiver 3?
Because you like him?
No. Smitty, should I draft him early, like in round 8 or 9? No. We'll make fun of you. Let me emphasize where Tank Dell is ranking. Let's filter by wide receivers on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. If you want to draft with me on Thursdays, Fridays, and and Saturdays and get a draft with me, you need to go on over to Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. The link is in the description of every video, including this one, and sign up. And it's a minimum of $10. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. But using this phenomenal ADP data, let's filter by wide receivers. Look how long I have to scroll until I find Tank Dell. I just want to emphasize how far down this man is right here. He's wide receiver 87. He is number 206 overall. So if you go drafting him as your wide receiver 3, we will laugh at you. If you come into my live stream and say, Smitty, I took your advice. I took him in round 8. I will send you on a laugh. I will say, I will not be proud of you. He is number 200 plus overall. He is wide receiver number 87. To emphasize my point even further, let's go to the very top and scroll through every player that there is in fantasy football to the point where we get to Tank Dell. He's all the way down at this territory here. That is 200 names in front of him. You need to understand what I'm talking about when I say don't take him too early. Want to win a league? Late in your draft? Tank Dell. Want a wide receiver that could be a top 15, 20 wide receiver that you get near double-digit rounds? Tank Dell. Smitty, who's that next breakout that nobody sees coming? Tank Dell. His name's Nathaniel Dell if you're trying to search for him in a database. Tank Dell is his God-given nickname. This is quite arguably my favorite wide receiver in the 2023 rookie wide receiver class. Really. Is there any risk involved? No. Not if you draft him smartly. Not if you're taking him at 190 overall. Buckle up. Get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. Get your year-round rankings, bold predictions, trade advice, one-on-one text advice. This is your one-stop shop for fantasy football greatness, and it's famous for my bold predictions, my 12 to 15 bold predictions I drop every single year. I'll see you Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday because I go live at 7 p.m. Live whenever news breaks. Live drafting Thursday, Friday, Saturday at midnight. Daily uploads Tuesday night Panic Chamber. Now get out of here.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.